But in my kitchen, we have like this painting thing that says "No diggity, I got a baguette up." Like it's from an old like hip hop song.
I don't care if it says baguette.
Yeah, it says baguette. It's got like two baguettes crossed. It kind of looks like swords.
I could go.
Oh yeah, my thing crashed, and I gotta pull your guys' answer key back up. Wow. Here's the deal. When we're checking answers, especially now at this point in the year, it should be pretty quiet unless we're discussing with each other like, oh, that's what we did. Like if you guys have worked together, if you turn in your worksheet with wrong answers, that to me, and yes, some of you are looking at me like, dude, you've said this already. That to me says you don't know what you're doing, and my job is to fix that. So I don't want to give out check minuses. I do not want to have a list of 20 people that I need to meet with, but that's my job. So please check answers if you have it wrong. Let's go over it and see why it's wrong. I sure hope I can. Can you do the language arts teacher thing? All right, 813. All right, you said which one? 830B. In a second. Let's do 30B, then we'll pull this back up. All right. Melanie. Give this a second. You are good, man. So we talked yesterday, if my Zoom ever comes back, about what the 1 means. Right? So you should have something written down from in class yesterday when we discussed the compound interest formula, that 1 being the 100% that we start with, and then the R being the rate that we're either going to get paid or that we're going to have to pay. So then it says if Melanie invests $2,500, who's got that much money sitting around?
Me.
Yeah. Melanie invests $2,500 at 3% interest rate compounded annually. Guys, this changes, so it's really important that we pay attention to how often we're compounding. That's called our cycle, right? How many cycles we take. So, if Melanie invests that much at that rate and it's compound, I got to use the formula from up here. This is why I give you these notes up here.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for me to make things harder for you. That would just make my job harder. So we set up 2,500 times 1 plus... Yeah, the rate form of 3% is 0.03. And then to the power of 4, because it's going to do this 4 times, because it's annually for 4 years. That is probably where you made your mistake.
Can you do 835? Because I got an answer on that, but it's so ridiculously huge.
So let's just actually go in order. So let's look at 831. Anybody have issues on that one?
I have a quick question about 30. Real quick.
30 still? Okay.
With the power, does that happen after you do all the multiplication?
What's order of operations tell you? Parentheses is first, then exponent. So if I'm typing this in my calculator, guys, I was tutoring last night, and like the kid I was tutoring literally got a question wrong on their test because they typed it in their calculator. And what it was that they had typed in -4 squared, and your calculator's stupid, because what would -4 times itself be? Positive 16. Your calculator only knows how to follow how it's been programmed. So unless I put -4 in parentheses and then square it, you will get the wrong answer. So even though I'm a large fan of the calculator, break up your problem. So 1.03 to the 4th power, I'm just going to do just that first. And then remember, if we hit times, it grabs that previous answer. And now we can do the times 2,500. And that's how they get their answer of $28.13.77. You are welcome.
I just typed the whole calculator on my calculator.
I mean, you can, but that's a dangerous way to go because eventually it can lead to mistakes.
Can we round it?
You can round it. That's fine.
Calculators are smart yet stupid.
All right, 831, Anna.
This is just curiosity.
Now, that would be a conflict of interest.
What?
If I controlled the grades of somebody that I tutored, that would be a conflict. That wouldn't be appropriate. Actually, it is a Phoenix alumni. She's a sophomore now, and she goes to Kilbourne. Yeah. And actually, that was really fun last night because yesterday, this whole week has been kind of a stressful week. But her like aha moments, like when the light bulb turns on, and I tell you guys that kind of like recharges my battery. She had a lot of those last night. Like, oh, that's why. And I love those moments. Yeah, it's sweet. So, she, you know, of course she knows me because I was her math teacher, but also I teach differently than her math teacher teaches. So it's, you know, if you don't understand something when I teach it, one of your friends might be able to teach it to you better than me because they talk your language, right? So I kind of know Ava's language and because I taught her before. 831, any questions? Yeah, we can use our calculator, but you want to make sure that you know that that is repeated multiplications. The table here, you do want your factored forms written out. Those of you that don't like to do work, please don't skip over this. So then 833.
Oh.
Does that make sense now?
I went the completely wrong way.
Ah.
I did negative 90 degrees, so it went down into the other one.
Wait, I have a question on 83 or 33.
So hold on, because Max was just having a moment. So clockwise, right? Clockwise, if you look up at the clock, the way the second hand is spinning, that is
I did
clockwise.
counterclockwise.
Yeah, you did counter. On this, you got told to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Remember the hockey stick method? So if I draw a line out to B, it'd be like 1, 2, and then I can rotate the hockey stick, and it's still 1, 2, just rotate it around.
I mean, I did that and it worked, but I did
You just went the wrong way. Yeah, that's fine. It happens.
Did I ever write those? It doesn't say all that equation stuff.
Lily, what was that?
It doesn't say what Jen's. It doesn't like have Jen's number written down.
What are you talking about?
6 when it's minus 3.
Okay, so wait, are we talking about 33 now again? So it doesn't talk about Jen's number on purpose, because we don't know what it is. Jen's number, now I would call it, whose number do they start first? Jen, Carrie, and Fran are each thinking of a number. When you add their numbers together, you get 207. So guys, the first thing I would have written on here is Jen, Carrie, and Fran, 207. Then we start to substitute based off what they tell us. Now, I wouldn't actually use the variable x here. I would hang on to one of these variables just so I know who we're talking about. So Jen is 9 more than Carrie. So I'm going to replace Jen with Carrie plus 9. Carrie's still going to be Carrie. Fran is 3 less than Jen's. So, but wait, we already said Jen's is C plus 9. So Fran's would really be C plus 9 minus 3. And that's how they get the C plus 6. Or they said X plus 6.
Oh,
And
I said X plus 3.
yeah, careful. So we have C plus 9 for Jen's number, C for Carrie's number, and C plus 6 for Fran's number. They all add up to 207. Combine like terms, solve it from there. That process is actually up on the dry erase board right now. The solve, yeah, then we algebra. Bra. All right, 35.
Oh my god.
Interest each month. This is monthly compounding interest, which you probably wouldn't find at very many banks. Well, I don't know.
Wait, can you go back?
Every time I go back to the blank page, or what? You mean, are you still trying to write down like Jen, Carrie, and Fran stuff, or what?
I finished the problem. I didn't write that down. I did the 5D.
Can
I
I,
just guessed this actually.
But that's kind of silly.
can I
Bet you can be more efficient if you go this way. Max?
bathroom? I got all the questions I had.
Go. Yeah, go fast.
I saw.
Colin, you had a hand up earlier. Did we address whatever you were going to ask about?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a blank space between the complete table at right, and you don't write anything there. And
Well, yeah. I mean,
so I like whenever I see
Did you
it,
draw
my
me a
first
picture?
skips to be like, oh crap, did I miss one? Wait, no.
you should have drawn me a picture in there. Appropriate. Well, no, don't. You're going to forget to turn it in.
Never.
Yo, you're good. You're good.
I do. I very much.
I'm gonna go get more
Max,
water.
get back here quickly because I want to make sure you don't miss that music video because I think you will enjoy it.
Music video.
We got a couple problems to do first, though. All right, if this is done, turn it in. If this is done, turn it in. If this is in the answer key.
Yeah, 34 and 25.
So 34, you got to make sure you know how to rotate it to get it there. Please don't just copy. But 35 would be 18, 13, 28.
Wait, what? I got 1242.
Oh, I go to
Did you use your compound interest formula?
Jake, wait.
Check your work.
Jake, what did you get?
I got 1242.
That's because it's asking you after 1 year and it's months.
After 1 year, so 12 interest cycles.
That's why I
There's the mistake.
missed Yeah, I had an aha moment right there.
All right, take a moment, turn that stuff in, get out 821 if you don't have it out.
Is it weird that I got it right?
I mean, that's not weird to me. Is it weird to you?
That's weird.
I mean, I'm a little weird, so I guess, no judgment from me.
We're all a little weird.
All right, so graph paper. Where's your computer out?
That was my calculator.
Bro, bring a calculator. It's like so much easier to type the buttons than it is to like use your computer and click around. I'm telling you, there's something like there's I don't know, there's something enjoyable about like punching buttons on a small device and like actual buttons, not a touch screen,
I don't know how to
buttons.
do squared on
Bro, ask them. Squared on your calculators. Let's talk about any power. So, squared is here because it doesn't actually mean x squared. It means the number you typed in squared. But if I want to do a power that is not square, say like 8 to the, we use the caret, 8 to the third. On the fancier calculators, x squared still does the same thing, but your caret moves to over here. And actually, if you go into your math menu, if you hit math, there's a few kind of like stock options that they give you. If it ever focuses, it's because everything else is dark. So if you have one of the fancy calculators, the math menu is a fun place to play around and see what things are in here. Summation is a really fun function. Absolute value, round things, complex numbers, probability, fraction numbers. All right, graph paper.
Is that going to be needed for like one question, or do we need our notebook?
I have 39 and 40 on your 821.
Are these notes?
I mean, you definitely need out your 821. We're going to do at least one question on the graph paper, maybe more. All right. I feel like we're super chatty today, so I'm going to try to let you guys figure it out on your own. Try, with your team, to work through A, B, and C here. Remember factored form? Max, helping or not? Remember factored form is when we expand it. When we expand it out and write it without those powers. So this is 38. This is not on your 821. This we're just doing on graph paper. We're just doing this on graph paper.
What's the title?
It's still 821. It's a carryover from yesterday, right? This is a 2-day lesson. So it's 821. If you want the whole title, it's exponents and scientific notation. You could just put 821 if you want.
There's no reason to put the.
There's no reason
No
for
reason
that.
to waste lead.
We're gonna random card to knock out these problems and make sure we understand exponents before we move on to scientific notation. Take 2 minutes. I bet you can do this in 2 minutes.
I said no.
This is not 39 is that's the next problem.
Wait, this starts with factor form.
Maybe it's just like the school. I don't know. Factor form is expanded out, no powers. You write it all out.
So like, if it was like 5 to the third power, you had 5 times 5 times 5.
So we had factor form as part of last night's homework.
Oh, well, I thought you know where
So right here, you wrote it out expanded.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm
factor
just
form.
like,
You are welcome. You got another minute.
wait, so factor form means there's no power.
Expanded out, no powers. That makes me really nervous.
Oh, no power.
Factor form is expanded out. So like we were doing yesterday, right? This
Oh,
is
yeah,
factor.
that stuff. Oh, okay.
So now I'm not like doing it for you. What's up? I mean, for B and well, C, it just wants us to go to simplified exponent, but we might want to write it out factor first.
Let's do 5 times.
How good we are. Yes, that is what factor form looks like. What we did yesterday.
Oh,
I mean, it says it at the top of the table.
sorry.
It's all good.
5 times 5.
If it was a snake, it would have been
Oh,
shit.
it's factor form.
Brenda.
I would have choked it.
Brenda, tell Max what factor form is. That's a weird appellation statement of if it was a snake, it would have bit you. Like if you're looking in the fridge and you're like, where's the ketchup? And your mom walks up and she's like, it's right there.
And she blazed
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you're like, no, it was not. I swear, I looked right there. It's that when people would say it was a snake, it would have bit
That
you.
is what happens when you're looking for Lego pieces.
And then you step on it.
Yes. That's what it does, buddy. That's what it does.
Aiden, that's what exactly how I did it.
Oh, that's what happens when you ask your dad to help and magically appears.
That's when the snake does bite you.
We could all tell our own stories, but not right now. So, Mr. McNeil, is 2 times 10 the same as 10 times 2?
Wait, no, 2 times 10 is equal to 10 times 2. So 2 divided by 10 is equal to 2.
So hold on, you're jumping ahead of my question. This, you said yes. What did we call that? When we can switch the order of things, move them around. No. No.
Cool thing.
Y'all are funny.
Oh.
That was our commutative property, right? Commute means to move. But then Amelia, is 10 divided by 2 the same as 2 divided by 10? So we can say division is not commutative, right? So division is not commutative. We can't just move things around. It will change our answers. So then, it's real funny how many of you asked, wait, what's factor form? Because it was on our worksheet yesterday. Aiden, if I have 5 squared times x to the 4th times 5x, how's that going to look in factored form? These are kind of fun to say sometimes if you are like me.
So open parentheses, 5 times 5, close parentheses, times, open parentheses, x times x times x times x, close parentheses, times, open parentheses, x plus x plus x plus x plus x, close
Ooh.
parentheses.
Okay, so you really took it and factored it out. You even said the multiplication is repeated addition. I like what you did, but that'll actually overcomplicate this because we want to state this as multiplication. So you went a way I didn't even anticipate. We would still want to call this like 5x. But what we want to think about is that the 5 and the x are not permanently attached, right? They're attached through multiplication. And since we just said multiplication is commutative, let's move our 5 over with our 5s, or move our x over with our x's. So in reality, we actually have 5 to the 3rd and x to the 5th. Any questions on that? So then, we're going to do class answers on this. The last one here would be 3 to the...
4W6.
Okay, so it's, hold on. So I normally use cards, but when I say we'll just do class answers, just shout it out, right? Which is not normal. But what would be the power of 3?
4.
1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 3 to the 4. What would be the power of W? 3, 2, 1 more, 6. Questions on that?
Well, I read it in practice before.
Any questions on that?
No.
So, I want to remind you guys about Schoology. Okay? Not for any we're going to go back to how things were when we were on Schoology. But because some of you are missing school for different reasons. Obviously, some of us have gotten quarantined. So, I've got more stuff here than I think people realize. So, the cheat sheet folder is going to keep growing. And I'm probably going to put an exponents cheat sheet in here, or a scientific notation cheat sheet. But especially because Math 7 is in the midst of doing solving equations, I made a new solving equations cheat sheet. So if you want to review on solving equations and using the inverse operations and every step by step, area formulas, some of us are still forgetting our area formulas. So I kind of went page by page. Rectangles, we all pretty much know how to do those. But then we got parallelograms, triangles. Hey, no, those are not for you. Put it back. Those are for Math 7, and I have the exact number printed. If you would like one, you can come see me, but I think we are already pretty close to mastery with solving equations. They're just starting. Trapezoid area. So these would be better to reference and not print, right? If you're wanting to look at these, it'd be better to reference them and not print. Probability basics just shows a deck of cards and 2 dice, right? So all the different things that I've handed out. But what I think you'll care more about is the fact that, I want to show these before I get to the music video. So this should link you to my YouTube playlist of the Math 8 videos. And reminder, the newest videos are going to land down here. So I haven't gotten yesterday's added to the playlist. So if you're looking for a video and it's not there, go to my page, click videos, and it'll be one of the most recent ones. So here's yesterday's video. Now this is YouTube Inception, right? I'm recording myself and my recorded videos. All right, but then homework help. A lot of you don't really need me. You just need somebody to ask you the questions and kind of prompt you the right direction. So let's say we're working on tonight's homework, 821, and you want help on 47. Right here. There you go. Right inside of Schoology. You never even have to leave Schoology. And then if we reference the ebook, sometimes on your homework I say go to the checkpoint materials if you need more help. And I highly doubt any of you are carrying this around anymore. I think it lives in your locker. So we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon about if you'd like to get rid of your book. There will soon be options for that. But then down here, I've got videos I've shown in class that I will start to kind of populate a group of videos. So you guys know DJ Hudcap, but do you know MC Santi? Yes, I am recording. Oh, I guess I should probably. All right, so one of the things that I like to do is if I can find cheesy, catchy videos to help people remember math tricks, I've got a quadratic formula video that is the best bad video I've ever seen. It's auto-tuned. He's on a mountain. He's filmed by a drone. It's amazing.
Let us. Can we watch it, please?
Maybe, but probably not today.
No!
Well, how quickly can we get through this? You guys want me to start asking you questions?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I get to. Done! Show the video. Brenda!
Show us the video.
Effort now!
Hey. Chill it.
Exactly. Chill it, Max.
Yeah, chill it.
All right, Brenda. 9.23 times 10. What would that turn into?
92.3.
92.3. Connor, what about 9.23 times 10 to the second? 923 if we say that properly. Patrick? Max, you're not helping. And Nevin? So as we can see that the cat was already kind of let out of the bag, I don't need to put that there, but a comma would go there now. The decimal that was right here, and guys, this is the trick, but I don't like teaching tricks. The trick, Jake, we don't poke people with pencils. The trick is a positive power moves the decimal to the right. Because what is this actually doing? It's multiplying by 10 over and over and over again. So moving on to 40, which is also on your paper. Try that one.
All of it?
Yeah. You got time. You're fine. Will it make you happy if I look up the other video while you're doing this? Well, then get on it.
Then get on it.
Get on it.
Then you get on it.
What do I know?
No, it's not.
It's examples from class. Oh, it says this now? These are all examples from class, friends. The homework doesn't really start till the back of the front page.
Oh, that's tricky.
That's what, like, reading ahead is
But they're on the examples from class section.
I don't think we've ever had examples from class section the whole page.
Well, I know, but we also normally don't have 2-page homeworks. It's a 2-day lesson.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Now I did it, so now I just see.
Now Anna's flexing. She's like, done, guys. Faster than you.
I'm already done, Anna. With the next three problems. Get
I'm already
faster.
done with these homework.
Oh, yeah? Well, I already graduated college.
Oh,
All right, I think you guys broke the internet.
You must be around because you're both
Well, I graduated.
I
That
genuinely,
is
I
just so
don't
sad.
know what's...
We broke
That
the
is
internet.
just so sad.
Yay!
All right.
Hey, you're recording.
I know. So, all right, we've pretty much got these patterns in place. This would move our decimal over twice. This would move our decimal over 5 times. We really don't start using negative powers a whole lot yet, but you already know negative powers are like repeated division. So I'll go ahead and, we've got a couple minutes actually. We're okay on time. So, here's the rules. Hold up. Hey, I'm not even going to ask you to write this down because we'll do more of this tomorrow. Here's the rules that you do have to follow. This first number. You want to take over? You know what I'm going to say? The first number we write, which is what we call the coefficient. Coefficient is always the number in front of like a multiplication. This has to be between 1 and 10. It cannot have 2 digits in front of the decimal. So always we just have a single number in front of the decimal. The amount of decimal places after it doesn't matter. That is determined by how accurate you want to be. So you could have a number that is 1.00006 or something like that times 10 to the whatever. And these zeros are all important because when I start shifting this decimal over, I need all those places before I get past the 6. So always we have a single digit in front of the decimal, whatever after, and the power of 10 has to be an integer. So it can be positive, can be negative, but it has to be an entire number, right? Entire positive or entire negative.
Yeah, boss.
Sure, I'll show you that.
Yeah!
All right, so before I show you this video, a quadratic formula relates to a quadratic equation. Quadratic equations are when something is set equal to 0. So if I said y equals x squared, hey look, a power, minus 8, there are 2 points where my graph equals 0. And the quadratic formula is another mathematician's shortcut. We're like, all right, I just want to plug some stuff into my calculator and get the answer. But we had to derive it, right? Mathematicians had to figure out what it was. And in this video, he literally does all the math, but he wraps it. So, because I won't be your teacher when you learn this, I might as well let you see this, because you learn this in Math 2. You learn this in high school Math 2. I know I'm recording. I'm trying to get past the ads. It was a Prodigy ad.